Greetings everybody and welcome back. This video is going to cover 5 of the most strategic ways, best practices, best tips in order for you to get published. Hi, my name is Tanvi Chauhan and I'm a published author, and I have had so many of these questions that my folks and my friends have asked me for so long, and I thought I would share it in a video that's going to be helpful to not just them, but all of you. I'm going to be sharing my own personal journey, the things that I did, the steps that I took that got me my first book published. And no, I'm not self-published. I went through the proper channels and got published by a publication. My book is an academic book, so these tips really are helpful for you if you're looking into academic publication. However, I do think that most of these tips kind of also roll over to non-academic fictional publications, journals, even travel writing and blogging. Definitely apply some of the same tips and strategies into that realm as well. I'll leave a link to my book on the Caspian Sea in the description box if anybody wants to ask me questions about it, or wants to read it, or wants to fact check that I actually wrote it. So please go check this out. Let's get started. The first strategic thing to do is to polish your writing. You cannot qualify yourself as an author if you are not a good writer. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your writing is polished, that your grammar is good, and you can use AI. But here's my personal opinion on AI. Let AI do fact check and grammar check and punctuation check and maybe give you creative ideas. But don't let that dictate your creativity. Don't let AI rule over the way you write your stuff. Don't let it sort of take over your personality. And of course, AI learns your tone and your messaging and your creativity because it is an evolving software. However, do not try to solely rely on things like Chat GPT, Jasper AI, I don't know what else is out there, but when I wrote my book, this was not available. So this was all complete work from scratch. And I do wish maybe I used something like Grammarly, which is a grammar checking AI platform, using the tools that are available to sort of complement your talent and not eclipse it. In addition to fixing your grammar and polishing your writing as a writer, you want to stay up to date with current trends, current news, current whatever it is in what you want to write. For instance, your book that you want to write is about the war in Ukraine. Then it makes sense for you to sort of keep up with everything that's been going on. It's an ongoing process. And even if it's something you want to write about, something that happened in the past, you still need to keep yourself up to date about the kind of new research that's coming to light. Make sure to subscribe to newsletters and journals and op-eds, listen to podcasts about these things, videos, even on YouTube. There's a lot of free learning platforms available for you to sort of keep in touch with what it is that you eventually want to write about. Strategy step number 2, after you've done polishing your work, your grammar, and keeping up to date with what's happening in your subject matter, you need to find out the top tier journals, the publications that are printing out peer-reviewed material. Check their editorial calendar and then submit to these journals. There's always like open calls and directly email them, but usually they have guidelines on their website. Specific journals want specific things in a specific format and so many words and things like that, and you'll have to probably curate it. And that's what I did. I got published in a lot of journals before I became a book author. Journals is a very sure shot way of kind of giving you the credibility that you need in the academic circle. Most of the times, upcoming authors do not really submit to journals for free because they want their work to be acknowledged, they want their work to be remunerated correctly. And most often than not, early on in your career, it's very hard that you'll get compensated right off the bat. So what you must be okay doing is you might want to submit one of your articles for free and then see if there's going to be remuneration down the road for you. But don't worry about that first. Just get published in a good journal, get the credibility, get the name out, and then you can kind of make the rules as you go, and then you can set the terms. Strategy step number 3. This is a very, very overlooked and underestimated step. Grow your network. The old adage of your network is your net worth. There's definitely some truth to this, because you have no idea how many people you can reach professionally through a medium of things like LinkedIn. There are a lot of like-minded scholars who are talking about the same thing you're talking about. Maybe they're discussing collaborations. So don't just use these platforms as job searching platforms or mechanisms to sort of get you into your next new role. Use these as tools to expand your network. How are you going to grow your network other than a basic LinkedIn? There's so many other ways to do this. Attend seminars, workshops, conferences. If you're able to register for paid events, travel to them. Go out of your way to set up appointments with certain key figures and talk to these people about the ideas you have. So just be very open. Just try to find a community of people and scholars who are thinking about the same thing that you are. 4th strategic step is collaboration. You cannot on your own build everything. Even if you have a fantastic idea for a book, like if you're the next J.K. Rowling or whatever, you cannot do that without an editor. You cannot do that without somebody who's going to pitch the idea for you, so a public relations specialist or your agent, or there's so many different steps involved in trying to get you the authorship that you want. Think about collaboration, think about teamwork, think about how you can partner with certain people. Maybe a capital venturist, maybe an editor that maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a photographer, maybe it's a graphic designer. Think about your circle and how they can help you in pitching yourself, your ideas, your work to a publication. Last but most important strategic step. Normally what a lot of people do is they take their beautifully worded manuscript right to the publisher, pitch it right to the publisher. And then when the publisher does their little research and they realize that this is coming from someone who has no prior publications, is not even peer reviewed, they are going to dismiss it even if your work is stellar. Only pitch your idea when you're completely ready and you have some substance to bring to the table. Don't take a half-edited manuscript without having ever peer-reviewed it, without a group of people that can back you and sort of speak for you as references, right? For your work and credibility, give you that kind of extra sense of credibility for your work, and without defining a niche of how you really know what you know and what you're talking about and you've done the research. Don't take an empty, soulless manuscript to a publisher. They will not want it. So in my case, obviously, because this is an academic piece of work, it worked very chronologically for me. I was always a good writer, but I polished my skills even further. I edited and re-edited and researched and researched and researched my work, got it published in journals before I took it and compiled it into a manuscript, and then collaborated with a few other people and then took it to a publisher. Another bonus tip I'd like to add is try to give publishers an idea, information, anything that hasn't been published yet. They are constantly looking for new things to publish, new ideas to come to light. And if you're just taking them something that they already have published a gazillion books on, then it's highly likely that they'll dismiss your work without even looking at it, no matter how beautifully crafted it is and how much work you've put in and all the other steps that you've taken. So try to be original in thought, try to be original in research, and try to add on to something that's already existing out in the world. Don't try to copy someone else, or don't try to just be the plus one to the many things that already exist. So I hope that I have answered a lot of people's questions about how I got published, because this was an ongoing inquiry in my life for the past many months. So I'm going to be sending this very video to a lot of my close associates and friends and aspiring authors, and I'm also putting it out there for the world to see and for the world to hear. Maybe somebody out there will benefit from listening to this and will have the inspiration and the motivation that they need to get started on their manuscript. You have it in you. Now just go out there and show it to the world. You have to believe in what you are about to share to the world, and I'm sure somebody out there will see it. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Please leave them in the comments below. I hope that sharing some of my own tips and advice about how I got published will help you in your journey forward. Until next time, love and light. Bye.